Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Today we are gonna be having ourselves some top tier Korean Starcraft 2. In the bottom left hand side of the map, Lightshade, not Lampshade, Lightshade, it is Raise Your Edge Gaming's Zest. Zest, an incredibly good Protoss player, known for destroying your fan favorites and then just laughing all the way to the bank. Taking on Zest is going to be a guy who's, at this point, a very frequent flyer on the channel. He's Dream. Dream, one of the Terran players who's putting in the work, grinding it out a lot. And he's playing some damn good StarCraft 2, if I'm being honest. That being said, I think Dream's gonna be tight pressed to take on someone like Zest, but we'll see if he's able to do it. I cast him versus Prince not long ago in a TvP. He looked pretty good. I cast him in the last Afrika World, I believe. And then he's actually going to be playing in the next Afrika World, which will be on the channel shortly after this. By that, I mean the VODs will be up a couple of days after. Now, let's take a look here. We have got Zest coming on in here with his probe, harassing that poor SDV, but doesn't kill it, which was making me sweat a little bit, whether that guy would die. Dream is just going to be going for a Reaper expand, so none of that one base factory play. Okay, let's see. There is that Cybernetics core on the way now for Zest. Looks like Zest doing that just after his Nexus, though. Actually, no, before the Nexus, pardon me. So, important distinction to make there. If you are a up-and-coming Protoss player, I do recommend that you generally go for the Cyber Core before, because it makes your life a lot easier defending cheeses. It makes dealing with the first Reaper a lot easier. And so, I definitely do that on the shorter maps, and that's probably part of the reason why Zest has done that. He'll be able to Chrono Boost out his Adept, keep her at home waiting for the Reaper to potentially cross the map, but Dream is being very meticulous with his scouting out on the map, looking for whatever's coming his way. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before this game gets too far underway, can you please go ahead and hit that like button? Every like does go to help out the channel. If we can hit 50 likes on this video, that would be amazing. And leave a comment. You can type complete gibberish. It doesn't matter too much to me, but I do read all your comments. So, yeah, go ahead and do that. Let me know how many Marines are gonna die this game, and I'll try to remember to check at the end of it. So that's gonna be a bit of a game we can play. Make your bet, and you will win absolutely nothing, but I'll say good job. Yeah, now let's take a look here. We have got Blink on the way for Zest. So he's chrono boosting that out, going for the 1 gateway, with the 2nd gateway following it up to the 2-gate Blink. So likely a fast 3rd Nexus from Zest, all the while Dream is scouting this out, seeing what's coming his way. But yeah, this definitely is an opener for generally a fast 3rd Nexus play for the Protoss, and Zest is actually the guy who made the fast 3rd Nexus play look incredibly broken when it first came out. We see Dream running in with his Reaper, trying to get a scout off on his opponent. The Hellion gets to the natural, doesn't kill anything. The Reaper gets to the main base. Looks like it will kill 1 probe, but it doesn't actually see the tech, which seems questionable to me. Committing the Reaper in is very nice, but maybe Dream felt that he had a read with seeing the Robo, that it was probably going to be Blink or something, but that is interesting how he didn't actually spot the Twilight Council. But then again, I guess with that Robo timing, it couldn't really be much else, because if it was an initial Robo, there'd already be Robo units out. The main thing is, I guess, Dream didn't really scout for potential Dark Templar or anything like that. He is now going to be following this up with a Widowmine drop, heading towards the Zest side of the map. Blink Stalkers are very good at defending harassment. Blink should be done right around the time that this is finishing up. We see Zest getting an Observer, but he's not aware of this drop coming towards his natural base. The boost isn't done yet, so it's actually going to come in painfully slow. Does Zest react? Yes, he does, right in the nick of time. And the Stalkers do blink under that Medivac. Looks like they almost get it. Not quite. This mine should be able to burrow. It's going to force a Stalker to blink. Is Dream going to keep retargeting that? Yes, he is, just to try and drag out the shot as long as possible. And he actually kills the Stalker, which is really nice, seeing as how Zest had Blink. Getting a Stalker with a single Widowmine means that Zest wasn't paying attention there. Dream maybe was baiting him a bit with changing that targeting on the Widow Mine, so the shot doesn't fire as long, so the Protoss can't go back to mining as soon. It's a trick that only the best Terrans can really do, because it does require so much APM. So much APM. You gotta go click, 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 click all over, picking new targets while trying not to let your macros slip. So it's not something we see too much, but in certain situations like that, it can benefit you with, say, a Stalker kill like we just saw. Now, Zest is going to be putting the pressure on Dream a little bit. Zest is actually going to find that Medivac on its way back in. That's painful for Dream. The Stalker's trying to put the pressure on the Terran a little bit. Getting that Medivac is a very nice pick-off for Zest. That was just the stars aligning. Not well for the Medivac pilot. She's just like, oh, we're home free, we made it back, and oh god, the Stalkers followed us. Yeah, that wasn't too good at all for Zest, but we take a look, for Dream, pardon me, we take a look, Zest is now getting up a ton of gateways, so going up to 8 gates, he's going to have Charge on the way and Immortal out, and then just still his Stalkers open with a Prism out on the map, so it's all coming together for Zest. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. I'll have to work on that one, but let's take a look here. We see multiple gateways getting up, or barracks getting up for Dream. He's getting up to 3rd command center, so not the quickest 3rd command center play from Dream, as he actually started his... He went for a primarily 3 racks play. Dream's got to be careful, though, moving out on the map, seeing these Stalkers of Zest. And I actually do like the fact that Dream did open up with a 3 racks play against Zest. I think going quick 3cc can really open yourself up to some of Zest's shenanigans. We see this Ravens moving out towards the north, maybe looking for something, but for now, there is nothing. Dream just hanging out on top of his ramp. Zest is really pressuring his opponent. I'm not sure what he's pressuring for, what Zest is going to spend all this money on. He's actually cut a lot of probe production, which I find very interesting, I guess realizing that it was a 3-rack play, getting ready for some aggression. But 57 probes is not a lot for a Protoss on 3 bases, so Zest is going to want to saturate that up a bit more. I guess for now, though, he's just waiting for the pressure to be over. All the while, Dream does have his 3rd command center done, so he'll be able to secure that when he can. Dream has shut down that Prism that was coming his way, and he's actually pushing out with quite an army still. I mean, there's Zealots out for Zest, but there's +1 here for Dream. So we'll see how this engagement's going to play out. Looks like some of the Stalkers wander forward. The Widow Mines, however, are not burrowed, and the Zealots actually pick off 2 of them. That's a really nice find for Zest, so getting that. Dream is starting to push up, but I think he is realizing just how much Protoss mass there is here. We take a look. Dream is actually just going to go all the way home. He's got his Raven out on the map, but where'd that Prism go? Did that Prism die? No, the Prism's heading back home to help out too. Zest behind this, he's been going for a very gateway-heavy style up until this point on a relatively low economy, 60 workers as the Raven comes on and tosses down some auto turrets. Turret's not getting too much done. But yeah, now he's getting up those robos, so he will be having out some tech, but it is cool to see how Zest has gone so Immortal heavy, so gateway heavy style. So gateway heavy. And now he's getting up a couple more Colossus, or a couple of Colossus, in order to start bulking up his force, get that AoE that is required for a Protoss army. The reason why I said it was impressive that Zest had been so gateway heavy is that gateway units are not the best for Protoss. And that's pretty much a fact, so eventually the Protoss does need to transition, and we did see that Zest did just do that. Dream is going to be going for a Medivac drop, looking for something with 8 Marines in that Medivac, keeping in mind that Zest still isn't on the best economy. I mean, it's 3 base to 3 base, Protoss versus Terran. We'll see if Zest is just planning to go for an attack or what. For now, though, he is getting up his +1. He's getting up an extra forge, so he will be able to have more of his upgrades going. But yeah, just getting up a lot of Colossus behind this. Going for an Immortal Prism drop is cool. These Immortals gonna get pushed away by the Terran force. There's also this drop in the main base, forcing a huge warping of Stalkers by Zest. This will be dealt with, though, since that was just such a fast warping. The Marines do actually grab themselves up a few more probes, which was nicely done. Zest battery overcharges to save some. However, that was 11 probes which went down, so I'd say that drop was definitely worth it for Dream. Dream's now getting up Ghost to add into his army. He's adding on Vikings now. The Vikings could be a little bit late here. seeing as how he is going to be going up against a Protoss player who will be on 4 Colossus, when he's only got a handful of Vikings, the Ghosts themselves will help out with their EMP, with their enhanced shockwaves, but this does make things a little bit scary for Dream if a fight was to happen right now, as Zest's army is looking mighty thick. That is just a lot of Protoss there. Dream is pretty entrenched right now, but his army is mainly bio supply. He's got a couple of tanks which do help out against Colossus greatly. He's got the Raven, but he definitely will need some more Vikings to help out with these Colossus. We see the Stalkers were looking to push on in towards the Terran. That hasn't happened yet. We see Dream is wanting to move out to secure up the space, but this could be the moment that Zest takes his big fight. I mean, this Protoss army, if it gets an attack onto the Terran when the Terran's not sieged with his couple of tanks, it'll be disastrous, I feel. I mean, all it takes is 1 or 2 force fields, and then the Colossus will get huge swipes off on Dream. I think Dream's got to turn around and go home away from this. The force fields do prevent the Protoss from pursuing as easily. We do see some great EMPs hit the army of the Protoss. The Vikings are coming in here to help on out. The Colossus do pack quite a punch, but the buffer has been EMP'd, so the bio would shoot through that rather quickly. At the same time, Zest moving in with Zealots and DPs, hitting the 3rd base location. The tank is going to do what it can. Some of the bio coming back. Does Dream identify the DTs? Yes, he does. He cleans those up very, very quickly. The +2 attack really showing its strength here for Dream, and he does hold on. All the while, he's got the Raven harassing this 3rd base. Actually kills off the battery that was overcharging. Looks like the Raven will meet its end. Still, though, I think that went way better for Dream than I thought it would be. Zest was looking mighty scary with those Colossus, but I guess Dream's upgrades, his EMPs, really were clutch there, softening up the Protoss army so that even though the Zest had the big damage-dealing Colossus, if he had taken that fight, his buffer would have died, Dream would have eventually pushed through, and so Zest had no choice but to retreat. The Protoss player is going to be at 2-1 upgrades. Dream's on 2-2. He's actually got 3-3 on the way already. The Protoss is now looking to push on in, but some very, very big Widow Mines hit the army at the front. We see the bio coming down to the south side after landing some EMPs. There is a massive Immortal count here for Zest, so there's a chance he can still take a fight, but those EMPs have really softened up this force. If Dream had some more tanks or had some more Vikings, I'd say he'd absolutely have this one in the bag, but he realizes that this could get a little dicey, so he's actually going to pull SCVs, and I really like the decision to do that. He's going to try and target down the Prism. He gets that, so no more reinforcements in this fight. The Terran army is starting to thin out. One of the Colossus for Zest gets picked off, but we do see the Protoss army is winning out. I mean, Dream's going to have to retreat, going to have to consolidate a little bit. He will end up forcing Zest to back off. He loses 26 SCVs in the process, however, and that really, really hurt Dream. What a great fight there from Zest. I did like how Dream did pull the SCVs. That was a necessary evil. Even though they just got melted away right away, they did help out in that fight a little bit. Zest now making the decision to retreat with losing that Prism. It was a necessity. Who knows? Maybe he could have just won out there if he had another 8 Zealots warp in. Supply is still fairly even. Zest's economy isn't that monstrous. I mean, he's only on 65 probes, which isn't a ginormous amount for the Protoss. So while Dream was knocked down into the 50 SCV mark, that's not terrible, considering how Zest's economy is not gigantic in comparison. Zest lost all of his Immortals in that fight, so he's going to be replacing some of those, or I guess he lost all but this one. We see 3-3 is about to finish up for Dream. That's going to be a very big deal, giving him a nice window to potentially make something happen. He's up on supply for now still. He's looking for another drop towards the main base. And he's actually looking for a very large drop, moving out with all of his medivacs. Is he going to fly by this observer? No, he's not. He's still just sitting back at home. But yeah, going for a massive, massive drop towards the main base of Zest. Yeah. And this is really interesting because look at this. There's one drop moving out. I'm guessing that this is going to be looking for the 3rd base or so. But then there's also the other drop, the big one, moving towards the main base. And I mean, Zest isn't really anticipating this. So this is a great move here for Dream. The Protoss player just went for a big Zealot warping on his front. Dream's got to be careful not to take a bad fight. He does need to hold on back at home while this drop gets off. But take a look at this. Marine's now going to be running towards the natural base of Dream. Looks like a recall actually gets used by Zest. And oh, that is such a good decision by Zest. These Marines are going to run towards the 3rd base, but the recall is actually just going to be perfect for dealing with this army. I mean, Dream EMP'd that Nexus, so it can't use a battery overcharge, I guess, but Zest's army is already here to greet this. So Zest loses 16 SCVs. Looks like he will clean up this drop for the most part, though it does cost him a couple of those disruptors, and Dream should get out with some of his units, and he does, so nicely done there. All the while, Dream is now pushing towards the top base. So Zest's recall was good, but was it enough to prevent him from taking further damage to a push by Dream? Dream's now heading towards the north base, but he won't take that out. However, I mean, the Terran player, he can just go home, as he is on a much higher worker count than Zest now. I mean, the Terran being down SCVs compared to a Protoss is one thing, but a Protoss being down probes to a Terran's SCVs is not good, because the Terran's also got the mules, so we should see quite an income advantage for Dream right now, and that is going to become a little bit apparent. Zest, only on 53 probes, isn't great for him. Alright, now it looks like Zest may be wanting to push on in towards Dream. Dream's been playing quite a nice game, I'll say, and it's quite an interesting one, seeing as how he hasn't made Vikings to deal with the Colossus. He's just been relying on that EMP army, on that EMP with all the ghosts and everything, but take a look at this. Dream being out on the map. Getting chased away, or having this army chased away. This could be an opportunity for Dream. Oh, the DTs jumping on top of this Terran force to the north. EMPs and a scan go down. Looks like those DTs will be taken care of, so that didn't quite work out for Zest, but rather expensive trade, as he pulled most of his army towards the south and EMP hitting this force. Dream is trading out with small portions of bio against the main Protoss army, so he does have to skedaddle away, but at the same time, he's got a big push heading towards the fourth base of Zest, and this is a critical base for Zest. This is his fourth. He doesn't have a backup Nexus or anything going on right now. The cannon gets unpowered. The bio's been pushing this base. The DTs, I mean, they were waiting for an opportunity to get on top of this, but Dream anticipating that, going for a scan. We're seeing a big push on the front while this is going on. Disruptors not getting the connections off. EMP's hitting most of the Protoss force, but this is a lot of Protoss pushing towards Dream's base. Zest isn't able to defend his Nexus towards the north, and we'll see if Zest can make this push happen, but the bio of Dream is just standing strong. A lot of medivacs to support this. The Marauders stim forward, they take out the Colossus, and Dream is going to take this TvP. Very, very well done by the Terran player. Playing really, really well that game. What a match between those two. That was incredible, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Great game of StarCraft 2 there. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like button. Join the bell gang. Press that subscribe button. Hit the bell next to it. Consider becoming a member if you do want to support the channel. That is linked in the description down below, or you can press the join button. And then there's also a link to the Discord, which we talk pro StarCraft in. And Alpha Star. Whatever you want to talk about. You can talk about how handsome your dog is. I don't really care, but come hang out in the Discord. Yeah, this was a great match. I really did enjoy the way that both these players played it out. I think Zest's style was unique, and you could argue that that did kind of cost him the game, the way he played it out, but in the end, I think that Dream did just have some really good positioning, some good drops off. Zest did kind of complicate the game, though, with the way that he didn't have a big economy, like some Protoss players might have tried to get into a bigger economy, maybe having some Psystorm or something. I mean, of course, Dream had a ton of EMP, but yeah, I think the economy choice from Zest was an interesting one, because I think he did have a decent position at the start of the game, and so the way that he chose to play it out was pretty unique. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in. My name is LaughNgamez. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.